Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench and the start of a new project. Today we're going to begin work on Academy's F-18D in 1/32 scale. I picked this kit up at the recent Austin show, and I got a pretty good deal on it. You can see there was some water damage to the box. This is try to avoid the mold contact. It's there. I got it, long story short, I got it for 85 bucks. I was pretty happy with it because all the parts inside were still in their plastic bags. Nothing's been taken out. Even the decals and the instructions were still intact. I looked over they give you these 3 marking options here, and to be quite honest, none of them really jumped off the page at me. I want to do a marine jet for sure, but the box top scheme, no offense to the guys in VMFA-242, the weird writing just kind of sets it off for me. I looked around online and on eBay. I found some old markings from 2 Bobs. Coincidentally, one of them is for 225 Squadron, and I like this one. They had started to remark one side of it in honor of Guadalcanal. So there's the emblem for the unit is there. The other side has the regular squadron markings with a Viking and everything. Much more like what I was looking to do. Nothing crazy. So I'm pretty happy with that. I found these. Quinta has since come out with a set for the D, for Academy's D. I already had these. I had just gotten these like a week or 2 before Quinta came out and said, hey, look what we have. So these are from Kit's World. They came with the powered down option, which is what I wanted. So it looks good. It doesn't have the lit up screens or anything. Hopefully once they're installed they'll look good. I've got exhausts from Res Kit coming from Sprue Brothers. I got a couple of accessories from Flying Leathernecks. This heads-up display, which coincidentally covers model numbers right up to the plane I'm going to build, is 1 number before the end of this series. And then I got their wheel set for the Academy kit. Really nice looking wheels. Some of the better looking resin wheels I've seen from any manufacturer, and they don't look like a pain in the ass to use. I got 2 resin seats, Legend resin seats. They look pretty good. Part of the reason I got them is the straps are already molded in. I honestly don't care if both, seats have straps in the exact same position. I'm not that guy. I really don't give a shit. So as long as I paint them up and they look good when I'm done, I'll be happy. My thinking going forward on this build video series is going to be, rather than do 2 or 3 long videos where they're like, and to me long is like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I can't stand watching people do 35-minute videos on panel line washes. Like, stop it. So what I'm going to do, I'm taking the approach, the small bites approach. I just came back from Barcelona. They love tapas. Tapas are little small dishes, little noshes that kind of keep you moving along. That's how this video series is going to be if I can manage to do it. We're going to do little bites of this project as we go along. So today, obviously we're going to start with the cockpit, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do those resin seats. I like to do them and get them to look nice right up front, because that'll kind of propel my mojo, if you will, along to continue the project, to really be, balls to the wall with it. Let's try for around 10 to 12 minutes per, and this way I think I can get videos out in a better fashion and stay on a schedule. So we're going to do that. So let's jump in with the seats. We'll take a look, and here we go. So I thought before I start painting the seats, I'd give you a direct comparison between the kit seats and the resin seats from Legend. I know there are other resin seats available, but they entail photo etch seat belts. I detest photo etch seat belts in any scale, so I avoid them wherever possible. So Legend won by default. I assembled one kit seat to be able to compare them visually and side by side. Size-wise, they're about the same size. You can see there are obvious differences, like in the head box, and looks like, honestly, the detail on the frames is similar. I don't see much of a difference there. The detail on the backs, you know, in all honesty, I would give it to the kit seat to start with. I think their piping and detail is a little bit crisper. Yeah, you're not going to see much of it anyway when all is said and done. And then we have the other side. This is an issue I had on both of these seats. This piece, it was like wafer thin when I was handling them. Both of the Legend seats piece broke off in the same spot. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to grab this little section off of here and make it look the same. Honestly, once the seats are in, you're probably not going to see much of that anyway. And again, like on the other side, the head box is a little bigger on the resin seat. The detail's a little nicer. When you look on the top, it looks good. From the front, the molded in seat belts on the kit seat are very flat. So yeah, if you use the kit seats, you would have to do something with that. Other than that, the way they layered up the parts of the seat looks pretty good. It's doable. You know, again, I just think you're gonna have to get yourself some Edwards seat belts to do something with that. So I've got these prepped for priming. I replaced that corner of each seat that had broken off with the pieces from the plastic kit seats. So those are done. I got the pull handles installed. Those are the only separate pieces besides the seats. I've got I sawed these down to the base. Now I'm gonna just hit them with primer, and then they'll dry, and in the magic of video tomorrow we'll take a look at the primed seats and we'll pick out paints. Seats are primed. There's the Surfacer Gray 1000. Fill in some of those little, you know, spots and everything from the molding process. So on the most of the reference pictures I have, all these two cushions are a green color. Straps are green. The rest of the seat frame is black, obviously, and then you've got the yellow pull handles. And for the most part, I think that's the way I'm going to go. The only thing I want to do differently is I found some pictures where the seat cushion itself is like a tan or a dark khaki color. And just for the sake of breaking it up, I think I'm going to use that. For the green, for the backrest, I've used this for other stuff too. It's Reseda green, which is really forest green according to MIG. So it's kind of a, you know, medium greenish color. I think that'll be good. The straps coming down from the head box onto the cushion, I'm going to use this leaf green, which you can see is slightly darker. I think that'll be a good contrast. The seat cushion is going to be this MIG tan, and if it looks too dark, I may either dry brush it or mix in some of this middle stone. It'll be one or the other. Probably just dry brush the edges and stuff to lighten it up. And then the seat frames themselves, I never use black. I don't like NATO black because it's really a greenish black. I have some black gray from Hitaka that I like. I'm probably going to use that. So let's get on with it.
Many minutes later.
So there's a change in approach to painting the seats after my grandiose plans. After I had initially primed them in Mr. Surfacer Gray, I said I was going to paint the seat frames, the cushions, and everything by hand. I proceeded that evening to apply the first coat of paint to everything. Came back before bedtime. Absolutely hated the results. I wound up taking some Tamiya lacquer thinner, stripped everything off, cleaned the seats down, left them to dry overnight. Came back the next day, primed them in Mr. Surfacer Black. Then I applied what I use. I don't like using flat black because it's too stark, especially for stuff like seats and stuff. So I use Hataka's black gray. To me, it's a good balance. It's a very dark gray without being black. So I sprayed the seats with that Hataka black gray. I let that dry. Came back with my Sotar 2020, which I had just gotten back from a refurb at Badger, and which is a great service they provide, by the way. If you have a Badger airbrush, send it back to them with 20 bucks. They refurb the brush for you. I got the brush back. I loaded it with the Reseda Green from AK. I sprayed the seat cushions. I came in tight, did it by hand. I did the touch-ups after that by hand. Painted all the webbing. I painted with forest green from AK, slightly darker shade of green. Painted the ejection handles with yellow. Once I was satisfied that all the colors were good, came back in, applied some of the decals and stuff. Academy gives you just the some warning labels for the head boxes. I used AirScale's Modern Cockpit placard set and got a few more small little decals to apply it. Because when you look at the seats, there's like, you know, signs stamped all over them. So I just wanted to have a little bit of that. So I put those on. I did a quick dry brush with gunmetal from Vallejo. Very, very, very fine dry brush. To the point where it's hardly noticeable. It was to bring out the edges and the corners, just to give it a little definition. After all was said and done, I put a coat of satin over the whole thing. I applied I used some Tamiya black Panaline accent on the recesses behind the seat. You're not going to see most of it anyway in the long run, but just to break up that, to darken it up a little more, get it a little closer to black without being black, giving a little more definition to the little piping and everything behind the seat. I also used some, I had an enamel wash for interiors from AK. It's like a greenish color, and I added just a little touch of dark brown to it to darken it up a little. Applied that to those straps hanging down on the green parts of the seat. Broke everything up perfectly, and I'm very happy with them. Here's what they look like now, and I think that's where we're going to stop this episode. This is technically episode 1A. 1B will be the next episode. That'll be the next small plate where we come in and we're going to build the cockpit itself. Those seats are going to get put away because I'm not going to install them until the plane is assembled. It was just a good kickoff for me, a little bit of a mojo builder to get things going for this kit. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this and you want to see the rest of the series, make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. This way you'll be notified every time I put out a new episode. They're all going to be short episodes, hopefully. So thanks for stopping in. I hope you'll consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. And thank you to my channel member family, like always. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you for the next part of this build. Take care. Stay well.